Ciucă. And I might add that his remarkable military experience is a guarantee for understanding the importance of resilience. Mr. Prime Minister, you have the floor.
Madam President of the Senate, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And let me start by apologizing for my voice. I did my best to recover. I asked also for the support from our chief of the emergency department, and for the first time, he has no solution. So, this morning I was really very glad to notice that during this conference we will have a very special guest who is attending the conference. It's a very good friend of us. Is the former General James Jones. So, where are you, sir? Is here? Okay. So, I mentioned him for two things, and it's better to know that. So, because of his vision and his decision, while he was the Supreme Allied Commander, we are now benefiting of the relevance of the MK base here on the Black Sea shore. So thank you very much, and I think everything you did, it's now proving that it was a very, very good decision. And another thing which I learned from him was that vision without money is hallucination. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, resilience is one of the most versatile and complex concepts NATO is dealing with. In a time when our security becomes more and more complex and threatening, with worrisome dynamics in the evolution and nature of threat, increasing our resilience in order to better prepare our capacity to resist and respond is a central element in the activity of the Alliance. Excuse me. The fundamentals of this principle of resilience are enshrined in Article 3 of the Washington Treaty that stipulates that in order more effectively to achieve the objectives of this treaty, the parties separately and jointly, by means of continuous and effective self-help and mutual aid, will maintain and develop their individual and collective capacity to resist armed attack. In the last years, this concept gained more visibility and traction at NATO, evolving from energy and climate change to crisis management and response to hybrid threats, encompassing a large array of situations from societal to national and transnational level. The key principle is that national and collective resilience are an essential basis for credible deterrence and defense, and the effective fulfillment of the Alliance's core tasks, and vital in the efforts to safeguard allied societies, population, and shared values. I have. Thank you. A commitment to enhance resilience against the full spectrum of threats, including hybrid threats from any direction, was adopted in 2016 in Warsaw. That one was followed in 2021 by a renewed resilience commitment underlying the need for a more integrated and better coordinated approach. Unfortunately, as NATO's involvement in ensuring resilience grew, so did the threat to our security. In the last years, Russia increased its assertiveness, its destructive rhetoric and hybrid threats, in order to change borders and reconfigure the security architecture according to its own interests. Its illegal annexation of Crimea in 2014 has been a clear evidence of this confrontational behavior. This year, we have witnessed a dramatic negative evolution of this trend. On 24 February, Russia decided to attack a peaceful and independent state, bringing for the first time in many years the war back of the European continent. Today, Russia is undoubtedly the most serious and direct threat to Euro-Atlantic security, and given the current situation, it will remain so on the long term. Faced with this unprecedented threat, NATO responded promptly and adequately in a multi-layered approach, looking at consolidating its own resilience by enhancing the alliance's deterrence and defense posture, providing assistance for partners in consolidating their resilience, as well as providing a full-spectrum response to all threats and challenges ahead, including cyber, hybrid, energy, CBRN, and disinformation. This complex and multi-phase nature of resilience and the Alliance's strong commitment to continue advancing in this direction have been firmly reconfirmed at the Madrid summit in June 2022. On that occasion, the Allied leaders underlined that resilience is a national responsibility and a collective commitment, and that the work on enhancing resilience will continue, including through nationally developed goals and implementation plans, guided by objectives developed by allies together. For the period to come, NATO will continue to accelerate its adaptation in all domains, boosting our resilience to cyber and hybrid threats, and strengthening interoperability based on the civil-military cooperation. Resilience has become one of the priorities of both international organizations as well as national governments. The emerging challenges of the modern world mean that resilience needs to be diverse and strengthened. In recent years, Romania has adapted to these needs for countering numerous hybrid threats, not only by drawing up last year a national recovery and resilience plan, but setting up new institutions and infrastructures to tackle these challenges. The Euro-Atlantic Center for Resilience is part of this infrastructure. The initiative to establish and host the Euro-Atlantic Center for Resilience emerged as part of the answer to NATO, EU, and national assessments on the need to intensify efforts to jointly address a large array of challenges related to hybrid threats. In the relatively short times since its inauguration, hosted by the Minister of Foreign Affairs on May 31, 2021, in the presence of the President of Romania and high officials from NATO, EU, EARC proved to be a valuable partner. Romania has a good reputation for cybersecurity, and this was clearly recognized by the EU member states when we won the bid to host the European Cybersecurity Competence Center in Bucharest. So we are all facing turbulent times, especially here in the eastern flank and on the shores of the Black Sea. But our individual national efforts, combined with those of our allies and partners, would help us improve the resilience and protect our population and territories, be it national, European, or NATO. I would like to thank you very much to all those who are involved in organizing this conference, and I am sure that during this conference you will have a very successful, very fruitful discussions, and I hope this will mark the milestone for the development of the EARC in the future. Thank you very much.